The sun sank low over the Scarlet Moon Empire's rugged hills, casting a golden veil across the road to Rockland. Gaiman McDowell led his band with quiet resolve, his boots stirring the dust. Gremio matched his stride, axe hand steady, eyes keen. Cleo followed, the knives by her hip glinting, her gaze piercing. Pahn's broad frame loomed behind, while Ted whistled a tune, the Soul Eater rune on his hand a faint shimmer. And then there was Kanian, Craze's insufferable lackey, trailing them like a persistent itch. The trek from Gregminster had been plagued by Kanian's whining. "These roads are a disgrace," he'd moaned, his red cape flapping as he fussed, with his mustache. "I'm Craze's right hand, not some dusty mule." Now nearing Rockland, his voice grated anew. "The heat! The filth! You lot should have demanded a litter for me!" Gamian stayed silent, though his jaw clenched. Canaan was a trial, but duty pressed them on. Rockland emerged, its sagging roofs and hollow-eyed folk a grim sight. At Grady's mansion, Grady greeted them with a smile too smooth, his silks jarring against the town's decay. "Welcome, friends of the Imperial Guard. What brings you to our humble country town?" he said, bowing shallowly. "You know why we're here, don't you?" Kanian said. "Of course. It's about our taxes," Grady replied. "Bandits have taken up residence in nearby Mount Seifu, and they've been pillaging. That's why we've been late in collecting taxes," Grady continued. Grady then asked the entourage to help with fighting the bandits at Mount Seifu. While the band was still deliberating, Kanian had already accepted the request on behalf of the team. Cleo and Gremio weren't so sure that fighting bandits is part of the job description, but both Pahn and Ted seemed to be itching for a fight. We finally get a real chance to prove our skills. Deep in Gamion's heart, he is also hoping for a chance to test his skills. Mount Seifu is just east of Rockland, Grady said. "Fine, now let's go," the insufferable Kanian commanded. "We'll go," Gaiman said. "But first, Lenankamp. Our weapons need a blacksmith before the mountain." Lenankamp lay south, its stone walls sturdy, its streets alive with trade. Gaiman led them to the forge, where the air pulsed with hammer strikes and the hiss of steel. Mara, a burly smith with arms like twisted roots, eyed them as they approached. "Empire business?" she grunted, wiping her brow. "What needs work?" "Our gear," Gamian said, setting his staff down. "Mount Seifu's ahead. Bandits." Mara tested the staff's tip. "Worn but solid. I'll reinforce it. 300 potch. The rest?" Gremio offered his axe, Cleo her daggers, Pahn his gauntlets. Ted waved off the offer, smirking. "My bow is good enough." The weapons returned sharper, stronger, staff capped, axe keen, daggers lethal, gauntlets gleaming. "Move out," Gamian said. Mount Seifu's slopes rose wild and steep. The party pressed on, their upgraded arms a quiet reassurance. Slugs with iron hides and hissing snails fell to their blades, caning and yelping at each clash. Then deeper in, the air thickened, a chittering hum rising from the shadows. A cavern mouth yawned ahead, and the path within was arduous. Bandits, wild boars, and other monsters crawled within. However, it was also rewarding with many unexpected treasures to be found. Eventually, the band arrives at a wide opening, and the queen ant lays waiting. A monstrous thing, its carapace black as night, mandibles snapping, legs like spears. Acid dripped from its maw, sizzling on the stone. By the stars! Gremio cursed, raising his axe. What is that? Cleo hissed, daggers ready. Canian shrieked, diving behind a rock. Save me, you fools! I'm too vital to die! Gamion struck first, his staff cracking against the beast's shell, only to bounce off, the steel cap sparking uselessly. Gremio's axe bit shallow, Cleo's daggers skittered across its hide, and Payne's gauntlets thudded with no yield. The queen ant reared, its mandibles slashing, forcing them back. Acid sprayed, singeing Gremio's cloak, and a leg speared, the ground where Gaiman had stood a heartbeat before. We're no match for her, Pahn roared, ducking a swipe. Not looking good! We're done for at this rate, Cleo said, panting as she retreated to the side. You must protect me, Canian yelped. Gamion, everyone stand back, I have an idea. Ted stepped forward in the face of the queen ant. Don't do anything reckless, Ted, Gamion said, worried and unsure what Ted is up to. Don't worry, Ted reassured, raising his hand. The Soul Eater flared, a dark pulse rippling the air. The rune's power surged. A black tendril lashed out, coiling around the queen ant. The beast shrieked, and with a final guttural wail, the queen ant collapsed, its legs curling inward, Lifeless, Ted staggered, pale, the rune dimming. "What in the world was that?" Gremio asked, surprised. "I'm sorry, but I am unable to explain right now," Ted replied while steadying himself. "Gamion, there's something I have to tell you after we return." "Home," Ted said, voice low. "So this is what Commander Craze was talking about," Kanian muttered to himself. It seems a deeper conspiracy is beginning to unfold. The entourage eventually emerged out of the other side of the cave. At a windswept clearing outside a wooden hut, the bandits waited. Varkas, axe-notched, and Sydonia, daggers readied. Well, what a rare treat. "Looks like we have visitors," Varkas bellowed. "I am Kanian, Vice Commander of the Imperial Guard, and I've come to bring you to justice." Kanian, who has been hiding behind the group all this while, was the first to speak. "I'm Varkas the Whirlwind, Axe," Varkas said. Sydonia, who stood by his side, refused to introduce himself and would rather look at the sceneries afar. "Listen up, bandits. Surrender now while you can," Kanayan barked. "You really want to do this?" Varkas signaled his underlings to surround the group. "Whoa, they are actually attacking. What are you all doing? Hurry up and fight." Kanayan retreated at the first sign of resistance and pushed Gamion and his companions forward. In no time, the underlings were defeated, and it was then that Varkas and Sydonia jumped into action. The fight erupted in a clash of steel and fury. Varkas charged, his axe a whirlwind of notched iron, aimed straight for Gamion. The bandit chief's boots pounded the earth, kicking up dust that stung Gamion's eyes. Gamion ducked the axe, whistling overhead, shearing a lock of his dark hair. He countered, swinging his staff low, aiming for Varkas's knees. The steel cap cracked against bone, and Varkas grunted, stumbling, but his bulk held, and he roared back with a sweeping strike. Gamon leapt aside, the axe burying itself in the ground with a shuddering thunk, spraying dirt. Gremio rushed in, his sharpened axe meeting Varkas's in a shower of sparks. The two locked blades, muscles straining, faces inches apart. "You're tough, bandit," Gremio growled, shoving hard. Varkas snarled, twisting free, and swung again, forcing Gremio to parry, the clash ringing like a bell across the clearing. Ted found a slightly higher ground and supported the group with his arrows. Sydonia darted in to support Varkas, but Cleo's fire magic blocked his path. Pahn then charged at Sydonia, his gauntlets gleaming as he roared, "Stand still!" He swung, a haymaker, the reinforced steel smashing into Sydonia's shoulder. The bandit staggered, and then fell. Varkas rushed back to protect his fallen comrade, but was caught in the line of sight of Cleo's fire magic. Severely burnt, Varkas fell on the ground with a heavy thud. The bandits were defeated. This is what happens when you defy me. Canaan stepped forward to claim credit after the battle was over. You didn't do anything, Cleo said. Right then, seize the bandit scum. Canaan continued, ignoring Cleo. With the bandits tied up, the entourages now ready go back to Rockland. All right, we're done here. Now let's get the hell off this mountain, Canaan said. Varkas and Sydonia were both still in disbelief that they were captured by the likes of Canaan. The journey back to Rockland was smooth, and Canaan was especially excited about the hero's welcome. As the band was about to enter Grady's mansion, they witnessed a group of Imperial soldiers bullying two civilian kids. "How dare you muddy my shiny boots?" one of the soldiers barked as he kicked the boy who was struggling on the ground. Another girl stood by the side, helpless and crying. Gaiman can't bear the sight and confronted the group of soldiers. "Who the hell are you all? Buzz off!" A fight immediately broke out between the two groups. However, the difference in strength was clear. The group of soldiers were quickly defeated and sent running. Is this happening all across the country? Gamion asked himself. After the brief incident, the entourage reported back to Grady. "Back so soon? I am impressed. You wasted no time apprehending these tax thieves," Grady said. "Tax thieves? You're the tax thief," Varkas shouted. "Lock them in the prison cell." Grady commanded his men to lock Varkas and Sydonia. He then handed Canaan 10,000 potch as a token of gratitude. "Quite the dangerous sum. I'll hold on to it for safekeeping," Canaan said while he pocketed the money. "We've managed to apprehend the bandits thanks to my exploits." Canaan boasted, and he then hurried everyone back to Gregminster so that he could report his success to Craze. The road back from Rockland stretched long and weary, the sun a dying ember on the horizon. Gaimon McDowell walked in silence, his staff tapping the earth, its steel cap still flecked with dust from Mount Seifu. Gamion's gaze stayed fixed ahead, the bandits' words, Grady's greed, Rockland's oppression, echoing in his mind. The Queen Ant's fall, Ted's rune flaring dark, gnawed at him too. He felt the Empire's weight, his father's name, pressing down like a yoke. As they approached Gregminster city gates, the group just wanted to go home. Ted, you're coming with me. Kanian gestured Ted to follow him back to the castle. What's it about? Ted was puzzled. Nothing much, and it won't take long. Just come along. Kanian insisted. All right, sir. Go on home first, Gaiman. I'll see you later. I've got something to tell you. Ted was interrupted by Kanian, and the two of them headed to the direction of the castle. Gaiman watched Ted vanish into the castle's maw, a knot tightening in his chest. At McDowell's estate, things seemed back to normal. Pahn just had 2 servings of dinner. Gremio made tea for everyone. However, hours dragged, Ted's absence a growing void. A sudden thud jolted them, soft, desperate, at the door. Gamian went downstairs first, and there lay Ted, crumpled like a broken doll. Blood matted his hair, a gash split his brow, his tunic shredded. Bruises darkened his arms, and the Soul Eater pulsed weakly, a dying glow. There's so much blood, and the wound, it's not natural. Is it magic? Cleo always have a keen sense when it comes to magic. We need to get him inside. Gremio hurried. The 4 of them brought Ted back to his room. As Ted regained consciousness, he said, "Where am I? Are they here? The Imperial Guard? Are they still not here yet? Help me, Gamion. Calm down and tell us what happened." Gremio comforted. Finally calmed, Ted then recounted what happened at the castle. "Gamion, please," Ted pleaded as he passed out again. Sounds like he was being chased by the Imperial Guard. Pahn half suspected that Ted did something wrong. The others were adamant that Ted was innocent. "I'm not so sure. Cleo, maybe we should inform the Imperial Guard," Pahn suggested. "Why?" "The young master's best friend would never act against the Empire," Gremio defended Ted. I'm just being cautious. We can't afford to have any trouble while Master Teo is away, Pahn reasoned. Cleo, Gremio, and Gamion stood by Ted's side while Pahn was outside, guarding the door. Gremio was sure that Ted was innocent while Cleo tried to recall where she heard about Soul Eater. The heavy rain outside continued. Gamion approached Pahn to check how he is doing. I'll go wake the shopkeeper and buy some medicine, Pahn told Gamion. Just then, Ted came around, and his first words were, Gamion, just this once, I'm begging you. Please, will you do something for me? What is it, Ted? Gaiman asked. Ted requested Gaiman to remove his right glove, and there it was. One of the 27 true runes. The cursed rune. The Soul Eater. It's what caused all of this. The reason court magician Windy is after me, Ted said, enduring the pain. I've wandered the world for 300 years, fleeing her clutches. Ted continued. My mistake was using the rune's power at Mount Seifu. Ted regretted using the rune against the Queen Ant. You're the only one I can ask. Please, I'm begging you. Protect this rune. It can't fall into Windy's hands. There's no one I can trust but you. Please take it. Gaiman knows that this could be Ted's dying wish, and he had to agree to it. I'm sorry, Gamion. This rune may bring you misery. Hate me all you want if it does, Ted said, tears in his eyes. Ted took Gamion's right hand. The cursed rune glowed and gradually disappeared from Ted's arm and appeared on Gaiman's. There. Now I can rest peacefully, Ted said as he struggled to stay awake. A loud slam of the door outside interrupted the moment. What was that? Gremio exclaimed. It came from the front door, Cleo said. At the front door, Pahn stood beside Craze and a group of Imperial Guard. Why don't you go ahead and hand over Ted? We know he's here. We were informed by Pahn, who is loyal to the Empire, Craze said. Gremio and Cleo was enraged. Pahn, too ashamed to face his comrades. I can't allow any trouble to occur in Master Teo's absence. Knowing what is happening, Ted struggled out of bed and came to the front door. "Ready to give yourself up?" Craze sneered. "Gaiman, they still think I have the Soul Eater. I'll act as a distraction while you escape." Ted gave Gaiman a chance to escape. Though against their will, the trio knew that it was their only way out. Gamion, Gremio, and Cleo then escaped through the back door. And with that marks the end of episode 2. Where could Gaimon run to? Could the trio escape the clutches of the Imperial Guard? All these shall be revealed in episode 3. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe to the channel so that you get notified when the next episode is released. Thanks, and see you in the next one.